Hoop Threads podcast here with another prospect spotlight. We got Azavier Robinson from Lawrence North in Indianapolis, Indiana. Azavier, how's it going today, brother?
Good.
Cool. Glad to have you on the podcast, man. So let's get right into it. Tell me about your first dunk.
Uh, it was eighth grade summer going into my freshman year.
Okay. Was it
We
in
was
a summer league game or a regular game, or was it like?
yeah, it was an AAU game, and we was playing against All Ohio Red, and I got a steal. I picked somebody's pocket, and it was like a rim grazer because I can barely I couldn't jump as high as I could now.
Gotcha. So the first one's always fun though. Who do you model your game after? Who are some of your kind of NBA role models?
Uh, I kind of look up to Russell Westbrook game because even if he's not having a good day on offense or he just having a rough night, he still play hard every game consistently, and that's what I like to do.
100%. Talk about a time that you faced adversity and kind of the tools that you use to navigate through it.
Uh, like with social media, after a bad game, it's always going to be adversity, but I really don't pay attention to it. I just block it all out because I got high confidence in myself and I know what I can do. So
Okay.
it don't really get to me.
Okay. What is the most important habit in your routine? Is
Like
it
it's
just getting a ton of sleep? Is it, do you meditate or do yoga? You work out every morning as far as lifting or running? What's the most important habit in your routine?
uh warming up before the game.
Okay. Got
Just breaking a sweat before the game.
Okay. Tell me about your gym schedule. Kind of who puts it together. I guess this is more a question kind of like during the off season. During the summer, kind of, what are you doing during the summer on a daily basis? Is it kind of more skill work? Is it a ton of shooting? Is it kind of two a days? Is it more led by your high school coach? What does that look like?
It's it's like a 5 day week schedule, unless we got a game from 4 to 6:30.
Mhm.
Like off season is it's more training, like early morning training sessions and AAU practice.
Okay, got you. What have been some of the parts of your game that you've been working on the most, this past summer, kind of leading up to this school year? What have you added to your game?
Just trying to be a better shooter. I don't feel like I'm a bad shooter, but I feel like being a shooter, it can always get better.
Okay, got you, 100%. Who's the hardest worker you've been around, and who's your best matchup or the matchup that you look forward to the most?
Uh, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Okay, is there one in AU that you like playing that you hope you see him again?
Not really. I kind of come into every game with the same mindset.
Mhm. Got you, 100%.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's all good. So CJ Gunn was really big for you guys last year. Averaged 24 and 6 before heading off to begin his career at IU. Talk about what you learned in the year that you played on the team with him and what your new role has looked like this season.
Uh, he playing with him. I learned how to be a player, playing behind somebody. Cause like all my life, I was like the main guy until I got into high school and played with CJ, and it just kind of taught me how to like get better at doing stuff without scoring.
Hmm.
Cause they didn't need me to do that.
Hmm.
So
Gotcha.
but
Yeah. Go ahead.
this season, like I feel like stepped more into his shoes of scoring and just adding more to my game.
Okay, got you. What do you do that you think separates you from the competition? From other guys that are at your position.
My hustle and my defense.
Say that one more time.
My hustle and my defense,
Okay, got you.
and and I feel like for my size, I'm a good rebounder too.
Yes, that I would definitely agree with. Give me some individual and team goals for this season.
Uh, we we got we got a Marion County tournament coming up. It actually starts tomorrow. One of my goals is I want to win that, and I also want to make it to state.
Okay. You want to win states. You don't want to just make it there, right? Got you. All right. How will you contribute to winning at the college level? What will you kind of bring to the table, at the beginning of your career?
I feel like I'll be able to bring a lot. Uh, just being an all around player, good point guard, and being a good on ball defender.
Okay. Yeah, the on-ball defense is important, especially at that level. What do you value? Is it honesty? Is it trust? Is it kind of work ethic? What do you value kind of in the people around you?
Uh, I definitely value trust the most, and my that my coaches have in me to be able to play my game.
Mhm.
That's definitely my main value.
Okay. Tell me about some of your interests and hobbies off the court. What are your plans after basketball?
Like I don't know. I'm studying business. I want to study in business and be a businessman and like off the court.
Okay.
But some of my hobbies, I like to play the game a lot. That's really it though.
Okay. Gotcha.
Even though I never really got time to do it.
I got you. Let's talk about recruiting. Are there any new schools that have got involved? Any visits you've been on, and kind of who's been recruiting you the hardest so far?
Who's been recruiting me the hardest so far? It's definitely been Purdue and Indiana.
Mhm.
Some some new schools I'm looking forward to taking visits on are Butler, Cincinnati, and Louisville. I already took visits on Purdue and IU.
Okay, got you. I'm sure you enjoyed those too. Um, let's talk about some strengths and weaknesses, and then we'll get to film here. So, what are some strengths and weaknesses in your game as far as you can see?
Weaknesses. I'll say my weakness, even though I don't consider that weak, is shooting.
Hmm.
My strength is being able to get past my defender, get to the rim.
Hmm. Got you. Okay, and then strengths. You
Strength,
see.
yeah, yeah, get past my defender, get to the rim. Uh, defense, rebound, and score.
Okay, got you. What parts of the floor do you feel the most and least comfortable right now? Kind of left wing, you feel comfortable in the paint, in transition. Kind of talk about that.
When I want to drive, I feel more comfortable on the wings. But when I want to shoot a three, I feel more comfortable at the top of the key.
Mhm. Got you. Okay, 100%. And then the last question I got for you before we get to some film here is games on the line, clock set, 10 seconds. What's your go-to move and where are you shooting from? You want a ball screen? You want ISO? What you looking at?
I definitely want to ISO. If it is a ball screen, I want to be like a ghost ball screen,
Hmm.
so they won't be able to trap, and I won't have to get the ball in my hands.
Hmm.
But I definitely try to just get to the rim. It depends on like how much we down by.
Gotcha, the deficit for sure. Okay. All right, so let's get to some film here. Watched a couple of your games against Lawrence Central, and I'm blanking on the second one, but we'll see it as we get to the film here. Give me 1 second to do that. All right, can you see this here?
Yeah,
All right, so let's get going. Definitely gets loud in your gym, man. Really,
yeah,
really dynamic in transition. I really like that each of these is kind of started by a rebound at the defensive end of the floor.
yeah.
Um,
That's
and this is what I really like to see from you too. You had a couple steals off the inbound, really important. Driving is really good. getting downhill through traffic. I like the hop step there. Nice extension lay there. That was tough. that was a really tough lay. I like that to avoid the charge. The step through is really nice. I think you're a really good passer as well. Take this pick up and kick to the wing for a shot on the back. He misses this shot, but that's a really good pass in traffic. Get a nice steal here, drop off, leads to a bucket here. Kind of get you the hockey assist. That's an extra pass. Really, really nice takeoff here. So this is kind of one of the areas that I'd like to see like improvement from is just kind of where you're taking off from. So kind of just maybe if this is a hop step, land on two and then finish there. But you're taking off from outside the paint and trying to score there, and that's a tough angle. And this one's pretty solid too. I just tell, my guards whenever we're trying to finish, especially, against the big, getting that bump, just try to get at least 1 foot in the paint so that you can be at the rim. It's easier to lay it up, and then you also get the foul call. Same thing here, kind of far away. This play we already saw. Really good steal there after the mislay. I think when you're engaged defensively, you're really, really good, and it adds another dimension to your game. Like this defense right here, you have to fight over the double screen. You come back and still get that block. That's a big time block. And if this is the effort that you give, on a regular basis, you're going to be a real problem on that end of the floor. Cut off the dribbler, block the shot at the rim. So this is that's a gamble. It is what it is. You're going to get it sometimes. Sometimes you're not going to get it. But the next couple clips, what I want to highlight here is just your stance and kind of your awareness as far as, where your guy's at, if that makes sense. So just kind of making sure never to turn your back to the guy that you're guarding and just kind of being able to see ball and man and either have a hand on him or be far enough back to be able to see both, if you get what I'm saying. It's like Lawrence North. This next possession, kind of come off here, and your guy back cuts and you didn't even notice until after the foul. So just stuff like that. You still get out for a pretty good contest. Right here, I would have liked to see you contest the shot, even though your big is kind of already there helping you. A lot of the time at the next level, when you get to this spot, it's especially because bigs get in foul trouble more often than guards. If they get a foul because of you, they're going to be upset about it. I'm just letting you know. So that's just something we can clean up there. Right here, I don't know what the defensive principles of this trap or full court press is. Most of the time it's to send him sideline. Was it to send him middle here, or he kind of just got you on this one?
He got me.
Okay, got you. So it's just the working hard to get back in the play, and then just trying to get that block out there. You're good here. It's just when he drives, again, he could have gotten that rebound, and then of course your coach is going to look at you. This is an example of a play where you kind of had a moment, but that was a really, really good close out there, and then you can test the shot at the rim. So it's not all bad. I don't want to be super negative. I'm just saying, you kind of have to be aware of both defensively. This is a really nice shot off of a screen. Another one from the corner. One off the steal right away. Don't even have to dribble, pull up. This is really good for a point guard to be getting this high. You're beating out bigs right here for that ball, and you're going right back up. And that's a huge way that you can continue to impact the game, going forward. You're a sophomore, so that's any chance that, like you said, Russell Westbrook, the thing you like about him is, if he's not shooting well, he's not scoring well that game, to be able to impact the game in different ways is really important. So again, I hope I didn't make you mad with the defense stuff, but it's just kind of flat-footed and just kind of on certain possessions. But man, when you're locked in defensively, you're really difficult. And the one thing that I would say too is kind of difficult with how loud the gym was. And then another, ones that I was watching, I actually wasn't able to get any sound on it. But the one thing that I want to see from you is that you're the loudest communicator on the floor. Because at the point guard spot, you're kind of the quarterback of the defense. You're telling people where to go through ball screens. You're telling this guy to hedge, this guy to help. You're telling this big to press up and come up and help because you got beat. You get what I'm saying? That's really important. And I think that like the biggest part of that is if you're communicating at a really high level, it's really hard for you to get backdoor cut. It's really hard for any off-ball screens or stuff to happen. I tell my players all the time because I'm a high school coach as well in Maryland. It's really difficult for any defense to set a ball screen if you got 5 guys on the floor calling it out and you got 9 guys on the bench screaming, screen right, screen left, whatever it is. So, kind of challenging you to take that initiative and make sure that not only are you communicating, but you're communicating at a really high level that may not be within your personality, but you got to kind of see whenever you step between those lines, you're trying to do whatever it takes to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Appreciate it, brother. Like I said, you got a bright future ahead of you. Definitely just keep working and stay locked into to what your coaches are saying. And man, you're on a really good path ahead. Obviously, with all these Big Ten schools kind of getting involved with you so young, that's a really good sign. But I really like to see that you're grounded as well, and not really worried about rankings and social media and stuff like that because that's important. Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, sir.